Okay, so I want to cover another Mysterio storyline from the 1990s. And I want to show you guys another example of ridiculous storylines for the character where it's just Mysterio pulling off the craziest schemes you could think of for a character. And what I mean by that is, in our last video, we saw Mysterio try to get his own television network off the ground. Matter of fact, he was able to, but was stopped by Spider-Man. Now this time, it is going to be Mysterio doing insurance fraud. Yes, you heard that right. It takes place in one single book, in Daredevil number 358. Now, when it comes to this book, it does take place at the tail end of the Onslaught event. Now remember, Onslaught was a major bad guy for the X-Men, but when it came to that crossover storyline with the X-Men, the Avengers, and the Fantastic Four, the Avengers and the Fantastic Four all just disappeared. Now, we all know what happened to them. In the 1990s, those two properties were not selling very well, and so what Marvel did was they technically got rid of the Avengers and the Fantastic Four, and they were moved to a separate world better known as the Heroes Reborn world, where it was giving Marvel the chance to kind of spice up the characters a tad bit more, but keep them away from titles that actually are selling, like Spider-Man, Daredevil, X-Men, and all the horror themed books. Either way though, when it comes to the storyline right here, you'll see a lot of characters reference the idea that the Avengers and the Fantastic Four are no longer around. And so getting into today's storyline, we do pick up with Foggy Nelson meeting up with a guy known as Mr. Peabody. Now, when it comes to Mr. Peabody, he's right now trying to build up his brand new insurance company. And what I mean by that is he realized that out in the world, there are no insurance out there that will protect you when it comes to superheroes fighting against supervillains. There are no insurance out there that is going to protect your home or your cars when it comes to superheroes fighting against supervillains. And so right now it's Peabody saying, hey, I have this great idea to build up a brand new kind of insurance company that are going to help out a lot of people, especially in New York. Now, this is a great idea, except when it comes to Peabody, the only reason why he is doing this is to make some money, because he knows that a lot of people are going to pay a lot of money for something like this to make sure that they are protected, but also their loved ones, their homes, and their cars. And when it comes to P-Boy, the reason why he's meeting up with Foggy Nelson is to get his support for this new insurance company. Now, Foggy is down, but Peabody wants both Matt and Foggy. So you have Peabody invite the two of them to a huge private party where only the elites of New York are able to go, hoping to buy their support for this new idea. Foggy is down, but the question is now, will Matt be down for this brand new idea though? And so then we pick up with Matt Murdock currently arguing with his new senior associate, Rosalind Sharp. Now, when it comes to Rosalind Sharp, she was a very interesting character in Daredevil comics. And the reason why, because she was this big time lawyer in Boston who moved over to New York to combine her law firm with Foggy and Matt. Now, when it comes to Matt, he had no idea why this big time lawyer wanted to work with him and Foggy. But then he realized that Foggy actually knew Rosalind. But the question was, how? How did he knew her? Well, we come to find out that Rosalind is actually the mother to Foggy Nelson. And so that is why the two law firms were technically combined. Now, when it comes to Rosalind, well, let's just say right now, she is trying to foreclose the Baxter building that used to belong to the Fantastic Four. But let's not forget, this storyline does take place at the tail end of the Onslaught event. So the Avengers and the Fantastic Four are no longer around. They're in a whole new reality. And so their old home is just left empty, and she wants to foreclose it to basically make a profit. Now, you have Matt say no, he will not have anything to do with that at all, and then basically walks away. Now, that is when you have Foggy Nelson confront Matt Murdock about the brand new insurance company coming out. And again, it was Mr. Peabody trying to buy the support of Foggy and Matt by inviting them to this huge party with the higher elites of New York. Now, as soon as Matt hears the idea that there's going to be some new kind of insurance company out there that is going to protect people, protect their homes, and also, well, their cars, well, you did have Matt say, this is a scam. And the reason why, because there are already different companies out there that go out of their way to fix the damages that are done by superheroes fighting against supervillains. And matter of fact, you have Matt give us an example. He's all like, hey, we already have damage control. They go out of their way to fix up things that get ruined by us fighting against supervillains. So honestly, this whole entire insurance idea is just dumb. To me personally, it does seem like a scam. Now, when it comes to Foggy, he cannot believe that his old best friend, Matt, is not trying to work with him here, thinking that this is a good idea. And so you have Foggy tell Matt, you know what, fine, I'll still go to that actual party, but I'm going to invite Liz Osborne. Now, Liz Osborne is better known as Liz Allen, except in Marvel Comics, she was married to Harry Osborne. Around this point in time, Harry died, and so she was a single woman who found love with, well, Foggy Nelson. And he's all like, look, if I can take her to this big, huge party, she'll like me even more. And so that's his game plan. But then you have Matt say, fine, go ahead and leave, and do not believe me when I tell you this is a scam. And so you have Matt say, you know what? I want to see the Black Widow. Now, when it comes to Matt Murdock and Black Widow, they used to date on and off again in the earlier days of Marvel Comics. Now, around this point in the 1990s, they were no longer dating each other at all. And matter of fact, Matt Murdock was with Karen Page in the storyline. And so for Black Widow, she's more of a dear friend to Matt rather than an ex-lover that he still has feelings for. Now, with that being said, yes, they might still have feelings for each other, but they realize that it's probably better for them not to be together at all. But the reason why Matt is going to check up on Black Widow is because the whole Onslaught event. Because remember, at the end of that event, the Avengers just disappeared. Now apparently Black Widow was one of the few Avengers to not disappear. And so right now it's Matt wondering, how is she taking the idea that most of her team is now gone? That technically she's one of the few who are left in the world as Avengers. And so while you have Matt trying to make his way over to Avengers Mansion to check up on Black Widow, he does run into the Juggernaut. Now, when it comes to the Juggernaut, you already know there's no way Matt Murdock should be able to handle a character like this. Now, when it comes to Matt Murdock, he may be blind, but his other senses were enhanced. And so he was able to realize that the Juggernaut is not truly here, but at the same time he is. What in the world is going on? Now, you do have Matt try his best to fight against Juggernaut, but he loses that battle quickly. And right after he does lose the battle, Juggernaut leaves to go somewhere else, and we have no idea where. Now, when it comes to Matt, he's wondering, why in the world was the Juggernaut here on a rampage and then just leave briefly after I appear? What in the world is going on? But then Matt remembers that brand new insurance company coming out to protect people when a superhero and a supervillain fight near them and they possibly get hurt, or their house or their cars get damaged as well. And so for Matt, he's wondering if the Juggernaut has to do something with this brand new insurance company that's just trying to pop up right now. Because yes, there's some damage here, but at the same time, can anybody claim the damage here or claim it on their insurance? Now, once you have Matt being able to arrive at Avengers Mansion, you have Matt be confronted by Jarvis. Now, when it comes to Jarvis, he's really more of telling Matt Murdock, like, hey, I know you're here looking for a Black Widow, but she's not around. Now, for Matt, he's wondering why Jarvis, Iron Man's old butler, is still hanging out in Avengers Mansion when the Avengers are now long gone. And when it comes to Jarvis, it's really more saying, listen, even though I know the Avengers have disappeared, I still have a feeling in my heart they are gonna come back one day. And when they do, it'll be business as usual. But at the same time, it's Jarvis saying, dude, the Avengers are always disappearing and somehow they always come back. And so in my heart, I feel like they'll be back very soon. Now back to you. You're here to look for Black Widow. Well, she's not here, but you are welcome to leave a message. And you have Matt do that, but then he leaves. Now we do jump over to Foggy Nelson at the party with Liz Osborne. Now while being there, it's really more of Foggy really trying his best to impress Liz by bringing her to this real fancy party. Now Foggy was hoping that Matt will show up, but Matt does not show up. Instead, you have his good old mother appear, Rosalind Sharp. She walks in and wonders, hey Foggy, I wonder where my invite was. And I realized that I also got an invite, but mine was in the trash. Luckily, I was able to get that invite out of the trash to come to this party. Oh, here you are with Liz Osborne as your date. How crazy is that? Now for Foggy, this is really embarrassing. And the reason why, because now it's his mom meeting his new girlfriend, and his mom is embarrassing him right now in front of his new girlfriend. And matter of fact, she is badly talking about Liz Allen's body in front of Foggy. And it's all like, what in the world is going on here? But then you have Onslaught appear. Now with Onslaught appearing here, it does technically make sense. And the reason why, because this book does take place at the tail end of the Onslaught event. The problem is though, why would he appear now at this random party? At the same time, when it comes to the Avengers and the X-Men disappearing, after that happens, Onslaught lost. He was defeated. And so with his defeat, that means he should not be here right now, appearing in the middle of some random party. Now that is when you have Matt Murdock appear as Daredevil. And when he does appear, he just beats down an Onslaught, and you're like, there's no way that should be happening at all. Like Matt Murdock, Daredevil, being able to beat down on Onslaught, somebody who gave the Avengers and the X-Men a run for their money. But you already know this is not Onslaught. Matter of fact, this is Mysterio. Because again, when it comes to Matt Murdock, he may be blind, but his other senses were enhanced. And so he was able to work his way through the illusions of Mysterio and defeat him just like that. And matter of fact, after that, you didn't have Matt reveal to us that when it comes to Liz Osborne, the one that's been around Foggy is not actually Liz Osborne. It's Mr. Peabody pretending to be Liz Osborne as a way to trick Foggy and other people at this party to kind of help out with this insurance scam, and also working alongside with Mysterio. Yeah, this man literally is dressed as a woman right now to just trick Foggy. Crazy. But then you have the real Liz Allen appear, the real Liz Osborne. Except when she does appear, you have Matt talk Foggy up like, you know what? I would not be able to get all this done without my good old friend, Foggy Nelson. Thank you, Mr. Nelson, for helping me out to figure out that Mysterio and Mr. Peabody is trying to pull scams on innocent people. And once the real Liz hears that, she's all like, oh my gosh, Foggy, you're such a great man. And yeah, she kisses him and the day is saved for Foggy. Now you do have Matt Murdock finally go home. Now when he does go home, he is confronted by Karen Page. Now when it comes to Karen Page, she does express that she is very upset with Matt Murdock. And the reason why? Because Matt Murdock went to go find the Black Widow. Now you're probably wondering, how in the world did she find out that Matt Murdock was looking for the Black Widow? Well, see, when Matt Murdock went over to Avengers Mansion as Daredevil, when he was leaving, he thought it would be a good idea to give a farewell speech to the Avengers who are now missing at the current moment. And so when he did that, it was like a press conference that was being shown on all different TV networks across the board. And so Karen Page was able to see that and put two to two together like, oh, You went there to go find the Black Widow to talk to her. But the thing is, if you had told me, I would be okay with it. But it shows me that you do not trust me at all to tell me that you were going to see your ex-girlfriend. And then she leaves, upset. And the book ends on that note right there. And so with that being said, this is where we are going to end today's comic book video. So please leave me a like down below and subscribe. But guys, see y'all next time. Later.